The moment I saw her phone light up with his name, something inside me cracked. A jagged, silent fracture that spread through my chest like ice giving way underfoot. It was 2 a.m., the house heavy with the kind of quiet that amplifies every small sound. The hum of the fridge, the creak of the floorboards, the soft ping of her phone on the nightstand. I wasn't supposed to see it. I wasn't supposed to be awake. But there it was, undeniable, glowing in the dark. Mark? Can't stop thinking about tonight. My wife, Sarah, slept soundly beside me, her breathing even, her face serene, as if she hadn't just torn my world apart. We'd been married for 8 years, together for 12. I thought I knew her, every quirk, every laugh, every shadow that crossed her face when she was upset. I'd memorized the way she tucked her hair behind her ear when she was nervous, the way her voice softened when she talked about her dreams. But lately she'd been distant, her smiles forced, her touches fleeting. "You don't make me happy anymore," she'd said 3 months ago, her words slicing through me like a dull blade. I'd spent weeks replaying that moment, wondering what I'd done wrong, how I'd failed her. I tried harder, date nights, flowers, long talks into the night, but nothing worked. So I stopped. I stopped trying to fix what felt unfixable. And now, staring at that text, I realized why nothing I did was enough. The next morning I watched her over breakfast, searching for signs of the woman I'd loved. She sipped her coffee, her eyes fixed on her phone, a faint smile tugging at her lips. "Work stuff?" I asked, my voice steady despite the storm inside me. She glanced up, startled, her fingers tightening around the mug. "Yeah, just a project," she said too quickly. I nodded, swallowing the bile rising in my throat. I wanted to scream, to demand answers, but I didn't. Not yet. I needed to know how deep this betrayal ran. Days passed, each one a slow unraveling. I became a detective in my own marriage, piecing together clues I wished I could ignore. Her late nights at the office, the new perfume she wore, the way she locked her phone the second I entered the room. It all pointed to a truth I wasn't ready to face. I started checking her phone when she showered, my hands shaking as I scrolled through messages. Mark was her coworker, someone I'd met at her company's holiday party last year. He'd seemed harmless, a little too charming maybe, but nothing I'd worried about. Now his words burned into my mind. "You looked beautiful tonight. Can't wait to see you again." Her replies were worse. "You make me feel alive." I didn't confront her right away. Part of me wanted to believe it was a mistake, a misunderstanding. Maybe they were just friends. Maybe I was reading too much into it. But doubt gnawed at me, a relentless ache that kept me up at night, staring at the ceiling while she slept beside me, oblivious. I started pulling away, mirroring her distance. I stopped asking about her day, stopped reaching for her hand. If she noticed, she didn't say anything. Maybe she was relieved. One evening I came home early and found her on the couch, laughing at something on her phone. The sound, bright, unguarded, hit me like a punch. She hadn't laughed like that with me in months. "What's so funny?" I asked, my tone sharper than I intended. Her smile vanished, and she tucked the phone against her chest. "Nothing, just a meme," she said, her eyes darting away. I didn't push. Instead, I went to the kitchen, poured a glass of whiskey, and let the burn drown out the questions I couldn't ask. The truth came out a week later, not because I confronted her, but because she slipped. We were at dinner, a rare attempt to pretend things were normal. She was talking about work, her voice animated when she mentioned Mark. "He's been so supportive with the new project," she said, her cheeks flushing. "He gets me, you know?" The words hung between us, heavy with meaning she didn't intend to reveal. I set my fork down, my appetite gone. "Gets you how?" I asked, my voice low, dangerous. She froze, her eyes wide. "I didn't mean it like that," she stammered. "He's just easy to talk to." I leaned forward, my heart pounding. "Easier than me?" The question was a challenge, a line in the sand. She looked away, her silence louder than any confession. That's when I knew. The fracture in my chest widened, swallowing the last of my hope. That night I couldn't hold it in anymore. We were in the bedroom, the air thick with unspoken truths. "Who's Mark to you, Sarah?" I asked, my voice trembling with a mix of rage and pain. She sat on the edge of the bed, her hands twisting in her lap. "He's a friend," she said, but her voice cracked, betraying her. "Don't lie to me," I snapped, stepping closer. "I saw the texts." "I know." Her face crumpled, tears spilling down her cheeks. It wasn't supposed to happen, she whispered. I was unhappy and you stopped trying. Her words were a knife twisting deeper. So you turned to him? I asked, my voice breaking. You let him in while I was begging you to let me fix us? She sobbed, covering her face, but I didn't stop. How long, Sarah? How long have you been lying to me? It started 6 months ago, she admitted, her voice barely audible. It was just talking at first, but then it became more. Each word was a blow, shattering the life I thought we had. I wanted to yell, to break something, but all I could do was stand there, my hands shaking, my heart in pieces. I loved you, I said, the past tense slipping out before I could stop it. I loved you with everything I had. She reached for me, but I stepped back. I'm sorry, she cried. I didn't mean to hurt you. I was lost and he was there. I laughed, a bitter sound that echoed in the quiet room. You were lost? Sarah, I was right here fighting for us. You chose to walk away. The days that followed were a blur of pain and anger. I moved to the guest room, unable to share a bed with her. Every time I looked at her, I saw his name on her phone, his words in her heart. She tried to fix things, leaving notes, cooking my favorite meals, but it was too late. The trust was gone, replaced by a hollow ache that followed me everywhere. I started questioning everything, every late night, every smile, every I love you. Had it all been a lie? I thought about leaving, but the idea of walking away from 8 years of memories, of the life we'd built together, was paralyzing. We had a house, a dog, plans for a future that now felt like a cruel joke. I kept waiting for her to fight for us, to show me she regretted it, but her apologies felt rehearsed, her tears more about guilt than love. And then there was Mark. I didn't know if she was still seeing him, but the thought of it consumed me. One night I found her in the living room, staring at a photo of us from our wedding day. Her eyes were red, her face etched with regret. I ended it with him, she said, her voice small. I told him it's over. I wanted to believe her, but the words felt hollow, like an echo of something already broken. Why should I trust you? I asked, my voice raw. She looked at me, her eyes pleading. Because I love you, she said. I always have. But love wasn't enough anymore. I saw it clearly now, the fracture wasn't just in me. It was in us, irreparable. You didn't love me enough to stay faithful, I said, the words heavy with finality. You didn't love me enough to fight for us when it mattered. She flinched, but I kept going. I can't live like this, Sarah. I can't keep looking at you and wondering if you're lying. The next morning I packed a bag. She watched me, silent, her tears falling onto the hardwood floor. Where are you going? She asked, her voice breaking. I don't know, I said, and it was the truth. I didn't know where I was going or how I'd rebuild. All I knew was that staying would destroy me. As I walked out the door, her sobs followed me, a sound that would haunt me for years. I didn't look back. The fracture had become a chasm, and I was already falling.